The economy size here is about $80 to $85 billion. That's just the size of the overall GDP for Dubai. The known debt for Dubai is about $85 billion too. So you're looking at 100% of GDP. Some sources here close to the rulers are telling me the debt could be much higher, 100 to 120 billion. It's all not fully disclosed, but obviously could be bigger than the 85 billion commonly reported. In terms of whether it's the first domino or not, perspective is everything. Dubai's debt, let's just go with the $100 billion number. Global credit write-down so far, $1.75 trillion. Global market, emerging market debt, $5.4 trillion outstanding. Now, coming into the commercial, Melissa showed you a picture here at the mall where I'm sitting, which was full of crowds. We're going to show you that picture in a couple of moments again. But the bottom line is, in this mall, they actually have these tracking devices where you can see how many people come in and out. There were 200,000 people here on Saturday. It was a Muslim holiday. It's been averaging 140,000. There still are a lot of people here, is the bottom line. So it may be down, but it's sure not out. But it all comes down to expats. A lot of curiosity about them. I ran into one, an Australian interior designer on the beach. Her name's Jo Smart. Here's what she had to say.
At the beginning of the year, it was very noticeable. There was a lot of people leaving, but it's really it's calmed down a lot now. I mean, particularly the last month, it's really filled up again. I think over summer, a lot of people went away. Summer and Ramadan, it was quiet, but it's really, come alive again, really. And there seems to be plenty of work and plenty going on.
All right, so there's Jo's point of view. This is her view on it, though. Her rent, as a result of this crisis, is down 30%. She moved into her building 6 months ago. It's still only 20% full. So a lot of the real concern on real estate here is very real. And she did say at the beginning of 2009, pretty scary. But she also mentioned something about the media being censored, which I have heard again and again and again. And frankly, we saw a little bit of that this weekend. So let's get a little bit more on this side of the story. Kyle Stellman joins us now from Dunia Frontier Consultants. It's a private equity firm, and it's good to have you with us, Kyle. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
So the expat story here, you're from Connecticut. So,
I am.
And you've been here, what, a year and a half?
About a year and a half.
Okay. People at home, as you know, were sort of obsessed earlier this year with the whole people ran up their credit cards. You could go to jail here, so they'd run to the airport and leave their cars and flee.
Yeah.
And I know there was a certain degree of that. How would you describe it now, though? I mean, you chose to stay.
Yeah, I definitely chose to stay. I think it's highly overplayed. I think my mother forwarded me that email about 5 times. And
the one about the cars.
The one about
the
cars being left there. I think that happened. About 40 people emailed me the same thing. And what we see, I think, is totally different. While there are definitely issues, I think that these issues are not unique to the region. And so I think that we're seeing a lot of people that I work with or colleagues of mine, they're hiring again. And so, and these are in the investment community, the financial services community, logistics community. I mean, I think we see that there are a lot of other things outside of the headlines that we're getting that are doing pretty well.
And it's interesting you say that, because I want to emphasize this again for everybody. Oil is 3% of this economy.
Yep.
And real estate's 30%. A lot of that money obviously was borrowed. But you've got 15 to 20% for manufacturing, for trade, with just funds flow coming through.
Absolutely.
Logistics.
Yep.
And tourism. So is it fair to say that maybe the West and investors have got it? It's just they think it's all real estate and all debt, and maybe.
Yeah,
not totally.
I get the fact that all the time I have people calling me and saying, is Dubai falling into the ocean? And it's definitely not. I think that what you see is it's actually a viable economy, over 95% from non-oil and gas things. And what that means is that for the past 15 or 20 years, they've been having to diversify their economy. It's a rather small country, but it touches on over 350 million Muslim people within the greater area. And so if you are an investment banker or professional between, say, Mumbai and Rabat, you're coming to Dubai or you're coming to Abu Dhabi. And so I think that it's created an ecosystem that's self-sustaining.
One thing as we talk about the future of Dubai, obviously maybe some scaling back, but as we've been reporting, airport arrivals are up 12%. One of the few cities in the world to see that. A lot of those people are transiting through. You can see that on the airplane as opposed to coming here. But nonetheless, I mean, its role as a hub, it can't be disputed. But women, this is the only place for Muslim women
it's the only
come,
place,
right? I mean, if you want to rise to the top.
If you want to be a professional woman, and again, in between Mumbai and Rabat, you're absolutely coming to Abu Dhabi or Dubai. And so that's why I think that once you do take into account the human resources value of that, I mean, you start to see something that's self-generating that'll really continue. And so.
And one final thing as we talk about this, and I know your view, I think, is a fair one, that it was 100% negative coverage in the West, and maybe it's not 100% negative.
Right,
I mean, there are other sides to it. But in the press here, it is. Everyone brings this up, and people laugh about it.
I'm sure they
market
do.
volatility is overreaction. It is very hard to find anything remotely resembling tough coverage of Dubai itself. What does that make you think as an expat? Does that make you worried?
I mean, I think that, you go into whatever economy, whatever market with whatever knowledge of that market is. And so it's you know what you're getting into, and I think that people are making a lot of money by realizing that, taking into account my firm. It really goes into a lot of these markets like Iraq, like Lebanon, like Algeria, and these are the places that don't necessarily have a Bloomberg terminal for the top 100 companies, and so you really have to dig around. You got to kind of triangulate what's going on, but at the end of the day, it's absolutely able to find out the viability of a certain company or asset or whatever it is.
So you take it with a grain of salt. I mean, in terms of, okay, we're not going to get fair coverage necessarily in the media, but it's not the end of the world.
No, it's definitely not the end of the world. And if you take a look at it from the U.S. perspective, I think that's definitely on the other side as well. And so the reality always is somewhere in the middle, without a doubt.
Well, Kyle, good to see you. Well, here we go. The Bellagio fountain.
Can't beat it.
Thank you very much.
No,
Kyle,
thanks.
Melissa, as I throw it back to you, I pulled this up. This fountain, the jets go as high as 500 feet, which I guess is the equivalent of a 50-story building. And you know what's kind of funny about it, Melissa, is the building behind me is 175 stories, so the fountain actually looks kind of puny next to the building, which is sort of pathetic, I have to admit. Anyway, back to you.
Leave it to you, Aaron, to turn that up.